I finally got my Storm Shadow. Man, my pre-orders have started to trickle in, and I'm still waiting on Crocmaster and my Cobra Officer. They're all kind of in the same wave, and um, but never saw those on the pegs. It's it's hard. It's crazy to think of things in waves because usually you think of things in waves going to retail like all together and being in a set, but that's not that's not how things work anymore. We do our online pre-orders. We get them when we get them. Most of my pre-orders aren't going to be here till 2023, May of 2023 or whatever. But and uh, Ordered this guy a long time ago, and he's finally arrived, and he looks awesome, and I can't wait to get him out of his little prison here. Um, so I do love the packaging art on GI Joe Classified. Let me move that in the frame here. Um, this one's good. This one's pretty good. I don't have any complaints. It is a very like cartoony type style. But what I would say about like GI Joe Classified is I think the box art is so good compared to like other brands and stuff. Like Star Wars Black Series. It's like a classic look. I mean, they were just like not trying at first. Um, but but I think GI Joe Classified has some good art, and so I'm really not too mad at the move away from the plastic. I think this looks really cool, and this, like if you were trying to sell this to kids and they saw this on the shelf, like I think this is going to sell your product a lot better than a card like just a plain cardboard box. Um, I think each brand is kind of different. But as far as like GI Joe Classified, I think this presentation works well to sell the product on the shelf. But like I just said, it's not on the shelf. They're not, kids aren't looking at these and aren't going to buy them, and so well, so there you go. It's like there's no reasons to do this because it's not what the market dynamics are like. So but I mean, as long as they're willing to make these for adult collectors and I'm able to get them on pre-order and stuff, hey, I don't really care. It is sad if we're talking about like our generation being the last generation to like GI Joe. But here's the thing, like kids aren't just going to look at toys on a shelf and be like, "Oh, I want this." I mean there are going to be certain kids who would want this guy like just cuz he's a cool kick-ass looking ninja dude. And and I definitely think that's, you know, but their dollars are in competition, or there's many toys in competition for those dollars. I mean, they're going to go to the next aisle and they're going to see Marvel Legends, and they know who the Marvel characters are. They're going to look at the pegs and see, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and those are the characters. Those are characters that they want. As much as they would want a cool ninja in a white outfit, they're not gonna get this guy over someone they don't know, who or over this character, someone they don't know, over someone who they really like. But yeah, so that's why like having a movie and having IP to back up the toys is so important, because kids get connected with the characters. No kid's gonna go. That movie was that came out last year. Um, it was just so generic and so forgettable, you know. And I thought Andrew Koji was a good Storm Shadow. I thought he was cool, but you know, but no kid's gonna watch that and think, oh, well, that, you know, I like that movie and I'm gonna buy this toy. Like, you know, so, and for selfish reasons, I want, you know, classic Storm Shadow in a white outfit with no sleeves, looking badass because he looks pretty cool. The other thing I wanted to mention was they have new art on the back, kind of with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow fighting each other. It's kind of bonkers that we've had so many characters come out and we haven't had, we haven't had Storm Shadow. I mean, we've had like 9 iterations of Snake Eyes. And I'm sorry, there was a Storm Shadow that came out. There was an Amazon exclusive. It was kind of like a weird, wacky gold and black and white Storm Shadow, which I'm surprised they haven't re-released. I'm cool with the fact that I never got that one. But if they re-release it, I'll definitely buy it. But yeah, let's see. We got Spirit and Freedom up here. We got Crocmaster down here in the corner. Let's see. I don't know if Zartan was on the other one. Got Major Blood. There's Firefly. Got Barbecue, Breaker. Cool deal. Yeah. Mostly, I mean, basically, this is all the characters that we've kind of already gotten. I think there's yeah, I don't think there's anyone on here that that hasn't been released or hasn't been announced or whatever. But the vehicles, it's interesting. You can check out like the vehicles on here. They're super dope. Got the Mauler kind of leading the charge, and I think this is the Mobat Bridge Layer. Man, I'm gonna get myself in trouble if I try to name all of them. Got the Havoc all the way on this side. Let's see. My eyeballs are bad, so get the Shark. Get the X. Oops, what is it? X. Oh man, I'm blanking out. On the X30. Is that what it was? Get some I think Trouble Bubbles right here over Destro's shoulder, and then in this corner, we got the Rattler, and then you get the Night Raven and the little drone launching off the Night Raven. I think these are supposed to be Sky Strikers right there. So got a lot of really cool vehicles there, Joe vehicles, and although I think it's very oh, we also had his tanks. There's the his tanks right there. I think it's pretty far-fetched to think that we would get these vehicles in the G.I. Joe classified line, but I don't think it's far-fetched to think that we might be able to get them in O-Ring, because now that they've released that Stinger, I think there's definitely a possibility that we could get some more classic vehicles. I know that it's just a matter of them like getting that tooling back and stuff, and but I would just love to see some wacky stuff well, I mean, I'd love to see some wacky stuff like the Havoc, but I think there are certain things like the Snowcat that isn't as wacky an idea. We could definitely, get a Snowcat. I mean, that's a classic vehicle, and one that I actually have my vintage version. It's not complete, but the Dragonfly right there. How dope would it be to get an O-ring Dragonfly with Wild Bill? So anyway, I've been yapping on about this packaging, but let's get this guy out and see what we got. Oh yeah! All right, now we got our Storm Shadow. He's looking good, all posed up. I like this. I like getting my martial arts figures in a pose like this. I can't do it without a figure stand because I can never get the balance quite right. Um, they're just, it's just not enough, or it's not enough to spread the weight around, spread the weight um, amongst or over the 2 feet. Um, can never quite get them to get the center of gravity right. Oh, I think oh, I guess I spoke too soon. But still, putting that on my shelf, um, it's easier with the figure stand that I get at Ringside Collectibles. I get these wrestling figure stands, good price. Work for GI Joe, Marvel Legends, and Masters of the Universe Origins. I mean, this is like the universal peg, but I got to be careful because they've been selling these for a long time, but they've recently added a new one for like an AEW type. This is this size is for WWE, but they've got like an AEW one with a different size peg, and it doesn't work. So anyway, that's my spiel about my figure stands. Um, and yeah, so he kind of comes with the classic Storm Shadow loadout. The only thing that's missing is he really needs the nunchucks. Um, because back in the day, Storm Shadow came with 2 swords, the bow, quiver, and nunchucks, and the nunchucks are missing. The other thing we got is this the hood, which is pretty cool, but not it's not part of the kind of classic Storm Shadow look. And I know there was a different version of Storm Shadow that was teased, who had a little bit of more of a kind of a mech mask and a tattoo, um, and they kind of scrapped that idea. And I think that's the reason why we're just now getting a classic looking Storm Shadow, is because originally they were going to do that Storm Shadow and kind of things sort of like they sort of did a course correction, going for a more classic look, which I think is funny because they did like a super classic Storm Shadow, and I want to say that they've also teased a retro version for Walmart, and I'm sure there's like little things that they can change to make him look more retro. But I think this version is so classic looking that I just think that's super unnecessary. Like these the gloves and everything. I think those are that's not necessarily classic, although he did have some sort of wrap um, on his arm, which hides his Arashikage tattoo, which gets revealed in the version 2 Storm Shadow. So, but yeah, let's take a look. He's got the drop hips. I'm not going to go through his all his articulation and everything, but um, let's see. I'm trying to get his hip to. Oh, there it is. Snap back into place. He's got 2 swords. They're slightly different sizes, so it has that kind of like Japanese, samurai swords type thing, where he's got a long sword and a short sword. Oops, should hold that in a way that you can see the length a little better. So he's got those, the shurikens, throwing stars he's got on his bandolier don't come off. He's got the kind of folded up hood around his neck, and let's see, he's got a quiver. The bow pegs onto the quiver on a little peg right there, so you can put that right there, snap that right on. He's got a single arrow that goes into the quiver. This doesn't open, right? The old version did. Anyway, so got that, put that right on there. So it kind of like blends in with all the other arrows. You can get him into like a archer pose. Let's check out this hood. Hold it. Oh, let's see here. We'll have to do this. Let's see. Take the head, put it in the hood, and then pop that on. There you go. Got your hooded look. Let's take a good look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty dope. All right, I got him into a little bit of an alternate pose. Got the arrow, the arrow and the bow and arrow working. His compound bow. Looks pretty dope. That arrow is kind of resting precariously between his fingers and the top of the bow, but I think it achieves the effect of him lining up for a shot there. So that's pretty cool. Kind of like hovers above his head. I think it's a neat alternate look. I just don't like it as much as the kind of classic look. I think we're getting something similar with Kamakura, which I might have him. Oops, see, I lost my arrow there. I'm really super nervous about this tiny piece because I've had things like this before, and so far, knock on wood, I've been good about being able to, holding on to that stuff. But I had something almost like identical to this one time, and I was throwing out a cardboard box, and it was brown. It was like closer to the color of the cardboard box, and I just happened to notice this this little accessory like in the bottom of the cardboard box, like kind of resting in like a little fold or like a corner or something, and that just freaked me out. I was like that close to throwing away a little accessory. Kamakura comes with a hood, and I think with Kamakura, I think I'll definitely be like doing the hooded look, because I do like that look. I just want my Storm Shadow to look a little bit more classic, like a classic Storm Shadow. Oh, and I guess a detail that I didn't notice or I didn't mention was the detail on the hilt of this is a snake. On both swords has this snake hilt, which just looks magnificent, and a lot of really cool details on the sword. Got really good paint and texture. Painted accessories are always like wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I say it over and over again. I think G.I. Joe Classified is the best 6-inch action figure line. I think they look so cool. Lots of good detail, amazing design. I guess Lenny is the only guy that's designing these. And shout out to Lenny, because he just does an amazing job. And I think he comes up with I think he must be like, he's a designer, so he comes up with all sorts of different versions and ideas and stuff, and then they kind of takes it to the team, and they kind of come up with like which direction they're going to go. So, I think they probably did the version of Storm Shadow with the tattoo and the mask and everything, and he probably had something more classic sketched up, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're able to kind of pivot to a classic look pretty easily, because it's probably all in his design notebook. Um, but anyway, have to give it to I have to give it to the GI Joe Classified team. Um, as far as the product, they're hitting it out of the park. I mean, um, you know, I I I think these ninja sculpts. I think we can get some of the cool ninja figures, and um, I know they get their money's worth out of these sculpts. So, um, I think they did a good job of creating something that is exciting. All right, we have Storm Shadow facing off with Snake Eyes. Um, this is the first wave version of Snake Eyes. I don't have the deluxe Snake Eyes that came out as the kind of like the preview figure. Um, but this, I have to say, this sword is incredibly hard to get into his hand. I actually had to take a pair of needle nose pliers to get those in there. But and I don't think I've ever put his sword in his hand before. I think I only had just guns. And um, but I do think this is a cool approximation of version 2 um, Snake Eyes, even though this is the kind of like the phase of GI Joe Classified where they were doing everything very, very techy, and so he's got a lot of little, you know, technological greebles and stuff. I still think it's a pretty cool version of Snake Eyes. Anyway, but also by way of comparison, I got the Storm Shadow, the movie Storm Shadow, in his sort of mayonnaise colored outfit. You can see that color difference show up on camera. I thought, yeah, I thought, yeah, they probably. I think it would have translated fine if they just made this like a bright white color instead of off white. Um, Even if it was off white in the movie, and they did the action figure as like a clean white, um, I think it still would have looked pretty cool. But and he comes with a couple of really nice katana swords. His accessory got some good paint applications. I just think they needed to have more accessories with these figures, and they were trying to like keep costs low and pump out a zillion of these things, and yeah, they were sitting on shelves for a long time, and I got one. Don't know what other people were doing with them. Maybe just using them as custom ninjas or something like that. But anyway, yeah. So the this new Snake Eyes is, or a Storm Shadow. I mean, the new Storm Shadow is far superior compared to that movie version, and yeah, I really think I don't know. I don't think they can. I don't think they can get better than this. I think this is. I think this is going to be the best Storm Shadow. I could be wrong. I mean, hey, Hasbro proved me wrong, right? But the and obviously, like, they're gonna do like a version 2 Storm Shadow with when that's when the hood's gonna be a little bit more appropriate, and you'll have the kind of gray digital camo. I hope they don't put like a weird. It was just like a weird configuration on his mouth. That's the one thing that bugs me on the vintage version. If you look at version 2 Storm Shadow, he's got that digital camo. He's got like 4 like right across his mouth, which makes it kind of look like, makes a really weird looking design. It almost looks like intentional, or I mean, not necessarily intentional, but it looks like that's how what it's supposed to look like instead of like a random, random digital camo. Um, I guess it undermines the randomness of the design. So that's the one thing that I think is the weirdest. So um, anyway, uh, yeah, I don't know. Really digging this figure. Really think they did a great job.